My name is Chris Nathaniel, CEO, NVA Holdings.
My name is Paul Bodie, CEO of NVA Holdings. We approached Ashley Cole, who Chris knew for some time, and asked him if he would be interested in going into business with Jay-Z, doing a number of different ventures. First venture being a bar and restaurant in London. Jay-Z already has an existing bar in New York, and the idea was to bring what he had in New York to London, and Ashley was very much interested in the idea. I thought it was an amazing opportunity, so we started the groundwork of that, got in contact with Jay-Z's people, and then 9 months of negotiation, and here we are now.
Basically what we set up to do was to get Ashley to meet Jay-Z, because he'd never met him before, and to talk through the plan, and to obviously look at Jay-Z's existing bar and club in New York, which was going through refurbishment. So really it was about just getting the planning side of London together, and also for Ashley and Jay to meet each other. W Hotel was there doing a number of interviews with various international media for Ashley, so that's why we were there, and obviously we're also residents at the hotel during our stay in New York. We stayed for a week and took care of business. It was non-stop every day, and obviously we were also using the opportunity for Ashley to visit restaurants within New York. We had our project manager there as well, and Ashley was just sampling the different types of cuisine that was available out there, as well as seeing how some of these restaurants function and the facilities that they have, and taking some ideas that we could use for the London venue.
It was important to have someone who was fresh as far as going into business, because this is the first business venture he's ever done outside of football, and plus obviously we know the profile he has in the UK and around the world. Jay-Z has great profile too, so combination of both, logic says that should be dynamite. So that was, the thinking behind that, and because it's going to be, launching a project that's based very much on marketing and PR, it's going to get the coverage it needs for it to be successful.
Is this where they are?
This is the ESPN room upstairs. Yeah, this is like one of the rooms upstairs.
Are you still going to have a link with ESPN when you
We're talking to them,
yeah,
to renew. We're talking to a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
And the naming rights. Show you that.
The media attention that we got while we were out in New York with Ashley comes with the game, and that comes with being popular and being famous. You got to see the downside is that everybody wants a piece of you, but it wasn't a major problem to us. Something that we've become accustomed to. It was, things used to be even worse in the UK. Looking after Katie Price, it was unbelievable the sort of paparazzi she had following her. So we've had years of that, so it's nothing new really. It just sort of a day's work.
Well, whenever we go to New York or both states, we've got a lot of contacts out there, so we like to cram in as much as possible whenever we're out there. So not only we're out there meeting with Rock Nation and Jay-Z and doing all that stuff, but there's also meeting with other business associates at the time as well. At Rock Nation, that's where we went to meet up with Jay-Z, officially introduce Jay-Z to Ashley and vice versa, and also to get into deeper discussions on the plans for 4040 London and other various entertainment ideas as well.
The discussion with Jay-Z's business manager was talking about 4040 London, how it would work, having a look at the plans for 4040 New York, and discussing the pros and cons of how things work in New York to how things work in London. So it was a very detailed conversation. We had our project manager there as well, who was taking briefings and giving his knowledge and experience of how things work in London, and comparing them with what was going on in New York. So it was really a good sort of fact-finding discussion for both parties to know what they'll face with the opening of this 4040 London.
See regulation size pool table, custom leather millwork, oak paneling, very opulent, mirrored ceiling. So pretty much everything that we had before, but taken to the next level.
We're at the construction site, we're looking at the rebuild of 4040 New York. So we're basically watching the changes that they're going to make, and they've guided the whole thing, so it's just getting some ideas that we could potentially use in London.
And if anyone's been to the 4040 in New York prior to what they're doing now, it's nothing like the same. It's a complete update. Interior, it's completely revamped, modernised, digital. It looks very, very big, and it was quite inspiring because it's given us some fresh ideas as to what we wanted to put into the London 4040.
Jay-Z and Ashley, the most important thing with this project was to make sure that something was going to go back to grassroots. And what we decided to do was to give first options on jobs to the long-term unemployed youth, as long as they were good enough. But it doesn't mean that anyone else can't get involved. We're also giving something back to charities, small charities that are aimed at young people. So we're looking to give them something each month. A different charity will be picked across the UK, starting obviously with London, and then finding our way out as the months go by. Well, the plan on launching the restaurant, option one is to launch in February, but I doubt that will happen. So we're looking at summer next year, to be realistic. We want to make sure we launch it and launch it right. And you've got people like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Rihanna on the guest list. You've got to make sure it's right. So, you know, make sure that everything is in place before we launch, and we're not putting ourselves under any pressure of time. But obviously, the sooner we can do it, the better. But we want to do it the right way and to the best of our ability. Your 5 tips of success. The first tip would be to make sure you do something that you've got passion for, something you enjoy, rather than trying to do it for money.
Second tip for success, say once you found that subject that you're passionate about, is to stay focused on it. Even if there's a number of different things that are of interest to you, try and stay focused on the thing you're most passionate about. And once you're successful at that, then branch out. Don't try and take on too many things, because you just end up spreading yourself thin and not doing a good job on any, and end up being a jack of all trades and master of none.
Third tip of being successful, I would say, is be yourself. Don't be influenced by what other people expect you to be, or want you to be, or want you to do. Just know exactly what you want to do, and don't be afraid to be different, because it's the ones that are different that stand out and are successful.
The fourth tip to success that I'd give is choose your advisors carefully. If your advice is of a business nature, make sure the people giving you advice are experts and have a track record for their expertise, and not just talking nonsense to you. Do your research on them. If it's a life experience advice that you're seeking, then whoever's distributing or issuing that advice, break them down and see what position they're in their life before you take that advice on board and digest it and accept it and action it. Actually look, deeper into it, and don't just take advice off people because they're there and they're offering an opinion, because their opinion could be completely wrong and sending you down the wrong track. So I think that's a really basic bit of advice that's important, but a lot of people don't take it on and get influenced by other people too easily.
The fifth tip in being successful is never giving up, because there's lots of times when you think it's not going to happen, lots of times that people can say to you, you're wasting your time, lots of times people can say to you, get yourself a proper job, or do this or do that. You just keep on what you're doing, and as long as you follow the 4 previous tips, it'll be nice, you'll get there.